It's got to be one of the oldest horsemanship phrases that ever got thrown out there, and people are still having a little trouble understanding it sometimes. So make the wrong thing difficult and make the right thing easy. And people are doing the opposite sometimes. They're making the right thing difficult and the wrong thing too easy for the horse. So the horse tries the wrong thing, works out well for him. He thinks it's the right thing. No problem for the horse. Human says, oh, the problem, my horse's problem is this, my horse's problem is that. No, it's not. It's no problem for him at all. It's his solution. Your problem, his solution. Hi everyone. Now we're going to talk about something that provokes a lot of interest, and that's about problem solving. But instead of just giving you the solution straight up to different problems, let's just identify the situation a little bit clearly, because often people are looking at trying to treat the symptoms and not looking at the cause. And by that I mean, for example, I've got water all over the place here in the kitchen, and instead of going and turning off the tap, I start sponging. And so I'm trying to treat the symptom. Oh, there's water everywhere. Yeah, turn off the tap. That's the best thing. Or, you know, I've got a headache, so I'm going to go and take some medication for that to get rid of the headache, and then go back to tapping my head on the wall. And a lot of riders, a lot of horse people, or people with horses, are spending a fair bit of time tapping their head on the wall. They don't actually know they're doing it, but they're creating problems, and then they're trying to solve the situation. They don't actually know that they're creating the problem. A lot of horse problems are learned behaviors. No one meant it to happen, but they were learned through negative reinforcement. There was a removal of pressure when the horse trialed a certain response, and that certain response worked out well. The horse is blocked between legs and hands, which is a classic problem over here. So in Europe, get the riders, bring the horse's nose in, drive the horse forward onto the bit, as they say, and now the horse is blocked between legs and hands. He can't get out of the pressure, and he trials different responses. He'll try kicking up behind. He's blocked in front, and there's legs on, there's pressure everywhere, so he kicks out behind. The legs come off, the hands release, the rider loses his balance, and it works out really well, and it becomes a learned behavior. When I need to release leg pressure, I do a big kick up from behind. Or if he doesn't try kicking out from behind, he'll try rearing up from in front. So he's blocked in front, the leg pressure's on, there's pressure everywhere, don't know what to do about that. Up he goes, tries that response, and doesn't it work marvelously well for him? The rider slides up on the horse's neck, releases the reins, the mouth pressure is removed, the rider takes his legs away because he needs to let his stirrups slide down and hold his balance. He removes the leg pressure from the sides of the horse. Everything works out wonderfully well. The horse learns, okay, when I've got lots of hand and leg pressure, I rear up and the hand and leg pressure goes away. Couldn't work out better. Would have to be very happy about that. So many of these bad behaviors are learned behaviors. Someone goes out, they're riding out in a trail ride, they've got hand pressure and leg pressure, and they're holding the horse together because you wouldn't want him to duck off to the side, would you? And he does duck off to the side, and then they release the hand pressure and the leg pressure, give the horse a nice little rub and try and reassure him and say, oh, please don't be scared. And the horse learns, okay, when I shy, when I duck off to the side, everything works out really well. So he removes pressure. It profits the horse to do these things. He's not doing it to be wrong. He wouldn't even know how to be wrong. He doesn't know right from wrong, good from bad. It doesn't exist in the horse's mind. He's just trialing behaviors, and they're working. Now the owner can get all upset and try punishing the horse, and that won't work. That'll just cause the horse to hate humans even more. And now the situation's going to go backwards. Like, once saw someone get thrown off a horse, get up and start punishing the horse because he was thrown off. Well, that's probably not going to cause the horse to say, hey, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have thrown you on the ground. Jump back up. I'm so happy you hit me a few times. We're going to be friends now. It isn't going to work out like that. The horse is going to say, by gee, I do not like that upright walking primate animal. If he gets back up on my back, I'll have to do the same thing because it removes pressures. It works out for the horse. It profits the horse. When you've got a horse problem, when you've got any problem, the first thing you need to do is ask the right questions. If you're not asking the right questions, you're not going to find the right solutions. So what's the right question? Well, the right question is, why is he doing that? And you probably already know the answer. The answer is because it's working out for him, because it works. Why is the horse rearing? Because it works. It removes hand pressure, it removes leg pressure. Why is he kicking out behind? Because it works. It removes the pressure of the rider's legs. Why is he tossing his head? Because it removes the pressure from his mouth. Why is he biting? Because it removes the human removes the pressure from the girth, or it causes the human to move backwards. Why is he? Anything that works, the horse is going to do it. If it profits him, if it makes his situation better, he's going to do it. He's not doing it to be wrong, and he's probably not doing it to be right either if he's getting it right. He's just trying to find solutions that work out for him. So if all the good solutions were working for the horse, and when he goes forward there was some release of the leg pressure or the hand pressure, when he was stopping there would be the release of the pressure rather than trying to hold the horse still and then having him rear up. See some pretty nasty mistakes. Recently had a horse that was really quite difficult to handle. He was rearing a lot. And in looking closely at how in the world that came about, as the horse was being presented in hand, he started getting a little excited. So they said, well, what we'll do is we'll put a bigger bit on him. We'll put one of these anti-rearing stallion bit things, chiffney, on him, and we'll try and hold him in place. We'll try and hold him steady, as if a human could hold a horse. Now, you'd have to be dreaming. So the human's trying to hold this horse with this chiffney, with this anti-rearing bit, and the horse has got this constant nasty pressure in his mouth. So the horse is thinking, okay, how can I remove this? This is uncomfortable. Horse finds out that if he rears, even though there's a lot of pressure in there, if he rears and strikes with his front legs, the pressure is removed. The human's often removed from the situation, especially if he can get his legs to hit the lead rope. If he can get those legs to hit the lead rope, that removes all mouth pressure. And the horse had actually learned that when there was nasty mouth pressure, rear and strike, and that works out really good. And it was a very nicely learned behavior. Now, in fixing it was a bit tricky because you had to avoid getting hit by those front legs, but just went back to a normal basic rope halter and stopped trying to hold the horse. And instead of making him uncomfortable when he was doing the right thing, make him uncomfortable when he's doing the wrong thing. But a lot of people make the right thing difficult for the horse and make the wrong thing easy. Now, that's got to be one of the oldest horsemanship phrases that ever got thrown out there, and people are still having a little trouble understanding it sometimes. So make the wrong thing difficult and make the right thing easy. And people are doing the opposite sometimes. They're making the right thing difficult and the wrong thing too easy for the horse. So the horse tries the wrong thing, works out well for him. He thinks it's the right thing. No problem for the horse. Human says, oh, the problem, my horse's problem is this, my horse's problem is that. No, it's not. It's no problem for him at all. It's his solution. Your problem, his solution. So if it's not flight-based, if it's not based on fear and flight, it could well be a learned behavior. And that's the first thing to ask yourself. How did I teach my horse to do that? Why is he doing that? Ask yourself the good questions. Why is he doing that? And you know the response, because it works. Okay, that far, for now we're on the right track. Why is he doing it? Because it works. Now you need to find out, how do I make the wrong thing difficult and make the right thing easy? If the right thing isn't working out for him, he's going to try another thing. If the wrong thing's uncomfortable, he won't keep doing it. No horse tries to be uncomfortable. No horse wants to suffer. It doesn't exist. So no horse tries to, oh, well, I'd rather have a little bit of pain today. I think I'll do a big old pull back and see if I can't stretch my neck a little bit and hurt my head. That's one way to spend Sunday. No, that's not going to happen. So no horse tries to be wrong. So why is it coming undone? Is the right thing profiting the horse, and is the wrong thing difficult or uncomfortable for the horse? Well, I'm not implying punishment here. If we talked about punishment, wouldn't use it. I can make the wrong thing uncomfortable without using positive punishment, and if I was to cause the wrong thing to be difficult, it would have to be contingent. It would have to be happening while the horse was trialing the wrong behavior. And I'd be fully understanding and not taking things personally and saying, okay, I know he's getting this wrong, but he doesn't know right from wrong. He doesn't know what's expected of him. I need to be understanding of the fact that it might get worse before it gets better. Why is that going to happen? Because the horse has learnt that behavior and it's worked out well for him for quite some time. Sometimes it's worked out well for years. Sometimes it's worked out well for years. So he's going to trial it normally. When I've got hand and leg pressure, I buck and the hand and leg pressure is removed. So what's he going to do? Well, you're going to put some hands and legs on the horse and he's going to buck. And now he's going to say, well, that normally worked. Why didn't that pressure go away? So he'll buck a little harder. And then finally learn that if he goes forward, the pressure is removed. I might be looking to pick up a canter, and a lot of horses learn, instead of picking up the canter, they start bucking. Why do they do that? Because it works, because the pressure is removed. Easier to do 2 or 3 little bucks. They call them sheep jumps over here, but pig roots or whatever you want to call them. 2 or 3 little bucks like that, and the pressure is removed. That's easier than heading off cantering for a while. So the horse learns to do that behavior there. The pressure is removed. Sometimes the rider is removed, and you know when you have to fix it, well, I'll try and pick up a canter. The horse will buck a little bit. That's what he's learned to do, and I'll need to keep driving that horse forward until he tries another behavior, which is the canter. Now you can bend them and make that uncomfortable and try again. There's lots of things you can do to make the wrong thing uncomfortable. You just have to be sure that you're not making the wrong thing comfortable and that it's not working out for the horse. And that when he tries different responses that aren't the right one, that it's not working, and when he tries the right one, that it absolutely is working. If he's not winning when he tries the good response, he's going to try another one. If the horse doesn't win, you'll probably lose. So the horse needs to win when he tries the good response. So a lot of learned behaviors, or a lot of problem behaviors, are learned behaviors. They're solutions. You're asking yourselves the good questions now. Why did he do that? Because it works. Okay, how am I going to make the wrong behavior uncomfortable? If he's bucking, well, I might bend him around, chase his hindquarters a couple of times, and go forward again. Some people, you might feel confident enough, drive him through it. Say, that wrong answer. Try again. If it's getting a little bit too bumpy up there, bend his head around, chase his hindquarters. Wrong answer, try again. Don't take it personally. He's not doing it to be wrong. He probably learned it. You might have even taught it to him. But you need to know that it might get worse before it'll get better, and sometimes you might need some professional help in order to fix things. Just make sure that you know what went on. How did the professional fix the problem? I think it was Einstein that said no problem can be solved by the same consciousness that created the problem. So if you've created the problem, this is one of the things that happens over here a bit, is people send their horses here to get behaviors fixed up, but they don't get really interested in how we did it. They think the horse has the problem. Well, the horse wasn't the problem, the human was. The horse didn't learn that problem behavior all alone out there in his paddock with his friends. He learned that problem behavior with his human. And the human needs to be interested and say, okay, how did the horse learn that? And what am I going to do now so that it doesn't profit him, that he doesn't work out for him? How am I going to make the right thing easy for the horse? How am I going to make the wrong thing difficult for the horse? What did the person that fixed the problem do? And how do I avoid the problem coming back? Otherwise, we fix the problem, horse goes home, 3 weeks later, the horse has the problem again. Human says, well, I sent the horse off to Andy's place and worked out for a while, but then the problem came back. Wasn't that good. Which means the human just caused the problem again, did the same thing, and obtained the same result. Always do what you've always done, always get what you always got. Problem comes back, and now we're in trouble again. A lot of different problems I could list, hundreds of them, and then go into how did they happen, what caused the problem. And what people are looking for these days, it's a 21st century thing, is my horse does this, what do I do? He does this, I want to do that. He does this, so should I do this, do that? What's the solution? You know, my horse rears, what's the button that I need to push for that? My horse won't go in the trailer, I can't catch my horse. What's the solution? Do you have a technique for catching horses that don't want to be caught? I don't have a technique for catching horses that don't want to be caught. If he doesn't want to be caught, there isn't a technique. You could try different techniques, chase him around until he faces up, or lots of other things if you want to do that. But the problem isn't that he can't be caught, the problem's the human. If the horse is looking at the human and saying, do not want to be near that, then that's a human problem, isn't it? The human needs to make himself more attractive. If the human's not making himself look attractive to the horse, well, it's not going to work out. Now, I'm not talking about putting on lipstick and wearing a handbag. What I mean by that is human will catch the horse and the horse's situation will go downhill. Things get worse. Horse starts to say, you know, every time that standing upright primate turns up, the day goes downhill, things get worse. So I think next time that the standing upright primate comes out, I might just try and get somewhere else so that I can stay here instead of going there. You know, horses, we'll go and catch my horse and do 1 hour of show jumping or equitation or something, and then wonder why you can't catch your horse. Did the horse have a good time in there? Was he controlling his environment? Was it working out for the horse? Was the environment was there sort of stimulus enrichment? Was it a good moment for the horse? Or did everything go downhill and he passed a bad hour? In that case, rapidly you won't be able to catch your horse. If I go out there now, my horses are already up in the barn because it's a really hot day and lots of insects. So they're up in the barn, they'll go back out tonight. But in the afternoon, when I go down to the paddock to bring them in, they're standing at the gate. They're very easy to catch. Why? Because the situation's going to improve. They're going to go up into an air-conditioned barn where there's no flies and there's no hot sun. It's about 42 degrees here. So they're going to go up into a nice shady barn, nice fresh hay, fresh cold water, air conditioning, the whole fans are on up in there. Lovely in there, so they'll be fine, and then tonight they'll go back out. And tonight, when it's time, they'll feel like going back out again. The temperature will drop, and they can, without their insects and things, mosey around out there and eat grass. So, am I causing the situation to work out well for the horse? What I've done is I've just listed a bunch of problems, and I'll go through them, and we'll just talk about what in the world goes wrong and what's the cause of the problems. Because if you don't know what's causing the problem, I don't think there's much point in trying to solve the problem. You've got to know the cause in order to find the solution. Put on my eyes, and so let's talk about some of these problems with trailer loading, for example. Now, oftentimes people haven't put everything in place to succeed. If you haven't set it up for success, it's probably not going to work. You need to set it up so it can happen, and if you haven't, things are going to come undone. So you need to ask yourself, what is there on the ground? Well, the horse can go backwards, forwards. He can move the forequarters and move the hindquarters. So you need to know, have I got those movements under control? Now, if I can control his front feet, control his back feet, walk him forward and walk him backwards, I can probably get him into the trailer. But if I don't have precise control over his feet, I'm going to have trouble putting those feet into the trailer. So the horse comes up to the trailer and he throws his, we'll talk about a two-horse straight-up load. The horse walks up into the trailer and throws his hindquarters off to the side. You can't control those hind feet because you haven't taught the horse to move the hindquarters across with a stick or whatever. He hasn't learned that. And now he goes, throws his hindquarters across. It gets all comfortable for him because the human doesn't know, starts walking off and, oh, we'll try again. Walks up onto the ramp. Horse throws his hindquarters across. Pressure's removed. All works out well. A lot easier to walk up to the trailer, throw your hindquarters off to the side than it is to go into the trailer. So you would want to have really good control of the horse's feet. If you could put your horse's feet where you wanted to at any place, any time, you'd be able to fix that. And then if you had really good control of the horse's feet, do you have really good halter responses? Some people walk up to the trailer, the horse stops, they pull on the halter, horse doesn't come forward and they release the pressure. There was a mistake right there. You don't remove pressure when there's a resistance. You don't remove the pressure. Bad idea. So you would maintain the pressure and you'd cause the stopping to be uncomfortable. You'd move the hindquarter, move a foot, move anything. Get his feet moving and try again. You'd cause the outside to be uncomfortable. Work the horse a little bit and then go back up into the trailer. And when he gets up on the trailer or even close to the trailer or in the trailer, there you might use some positive reinforcement. Give him a couple of carrots or an apple or something and cause your idea to become his idea so that he thinks, oh, this is good, this trailer. You know, I thought it looked like a mortuary. I thought it looked like somewhere could end up getting killed in there. But turns out it's more of a sanctuary. It's actually somewhere where there is no work. It's very comfortable. There's nice food and people give me scratches. I think I like trailers. Another solution would be over here they do amazing things with whips and see the brooms. They get brooms and try and shove the broom up their backside. Amazing techniques, most ineffective things I've ever seen. And they try all sorts of incredible stuff. And what they do is they cause the trailer to be absolutely horrible. And when the horse sees the trailer, he's already starting to sweat. The trailer is, 50 yards away, and the horse sees the trailer, he stops and he starts pooping. He does 4 poops before he gets to the trailer. That's always a good sign that the trailer has caused a little bit of stress in the past. You might want to think about that and say, well, how do I cause the trailer to be attractive to the horse? Because if he's doing 4 poops before he gets there and he starts sweating and shaking, it doesn't seem to me that it looks very attractive to the horse. It's probably become very ugly to him because of what's been done, because of the associative learning processes that are going on. So how could I cause, do I have everything in place? Do I have good halter responses? Do I have good leading responses, in-hand responses? Am I able to walk the horse forward, walk the horse backwards? Because you'll have to come out of the trailer too. So you think about that before you put him in. Can you come back out? And can I control the hindquarters? Can I control the forequarters? And if I can control all those things, I can use a little bit of psychology and cause the horse to want to go into the trailer because it's work outside and comfortable inside. And I would know how to use pressure and release. I wouldn't remove the pressure or from the halter or from the stick while the horse was resisting, and I would always remove it when the horse was yielding, when he was coming forward. And so the horse would rapidly find out that it was easier to go in than it was not to go in. I would make the wrong thing uncomfortable, the right thing very comfortable, and I would understand that the horse wouldn't know the difference between right and wrong. But I would cause him to think that the trailer was a wonderful place. And then maybe I'd send him in from outside the trailer. I'd work him a little, send him in there, eat some carrots, come back out, send him in again, work him a little while, send him back in, and cause the horse to think, that trailer is about the best thing I've seen in quite a while, especially out here on this arena. And as I'm working, go into the trailer and eat some carrots, I think I like trailers. I'd cause the horse do the same thing with jumps. You know, horses that don't like jumping, that's usually caused by the rider. The rider has been taking care of his objective and not those of the horse. And you could do the same thing. Work the horse on the ground, jump the jump, get off, give him a scratch, let the horse win. Cause the horse to think, okay, that's the right solution. Instead of the problem being the solution for the horse, the right response should be the solution for the horse. And then things would be working out a lot better. When I'm working my horse on the ground, he's all out of control. Do I have stimulus control on the basic movements? Can I move the horse forwards, backwards, control the forequarters, control the hindquarters? If I can't control his feet, the environment will do it for me. I'll repeat that. If I can't control his feet, the environment will do it for me. And a lot of people don't have control of the horse's feet, so the environment does it for them. Good halter responses, forwards, backwards, hindquarters, forequarters, several ways of doing that. We're not getting into technique, we're just getting people to understand the situation for what it is. Go out on a trail ride, my horse is taken over by the environment, he starts looking at the trees and he starts getting impulsive and scared. Horse is a herd animal, so if you're going out alone you might run into some problems unless the horse is really connected with the human. And I don't mean connected in a friendly kind of way that he likes humans because they're nice. I mean connected in a kind of way where he's concentrating on removing different stimulus. So I'd keep the horse very occupied while I was going out on a trail ride. If I was on my own, I'd speed up a little, slow down a little, put the hindquarters over here, put the hindquarters over there, get the horse straight, do some give and take or some take and give, put the horse into place, get him to give a soft feel, release, tighten up the reins again, soft feel, release, maybe move the hindquarters, maybe do a little side pass here, side pass there, speed the feet up, slow the feet down, stop, back up, two, go forward, trot, stop, back up, go again, move and I'd be keeping the horse very occupied. And what I find is what we call in science, that's called overshadowing. But what I'd be doing is I'd be keeping the horse very busy so that he's being occupied by all I'm asking him to do and not being occupied by the rabbit and the letterbox and all the things that are happening around about in the area. So the dog that's running up to the fence and all of these sort of things kind of lose control over the horse because I have more control over the horse. I have stimulus control over what he's doing with his feet. And if I have control of his feet, the environment doesn't. If I don't have control of his feet, the environment will do it for me. If I don't have control of what he's doing, the environment will do it for me. Now that doesn't mean holding the horse together and dominating the horse. It means, have I taught the horse to move the hindquarters? Have I taught the horse to move the forequarters? Have I taught the horse to step forward, backwards? And do I have control of what he's doing with his feet? And if the environment starts to get a little bit of control over the horse, the first thing I'll do is occupy his feet. If I can occupy his feet, I can occupy his mind. But if I can't get his feet under control, if I can't get him occupied with his feet, then some people, the environment starts to control the horse, and the first thing they do is they stop and they squeeze and they get the horse and they bunch him all up in a little bunch and they, we'll try and hold this together. You will not hold a horse. No human, you might as well hold back the tide. You're not going to hold a horse together. It's going to come undone. But you can keep his feet busy. I'll keep your feet busy and then the environment will have less control over you. Another thing that happens is separation anxiety. I see a lot of horses quite gregarious and they kind of get very stuck on their friends. Now, I fully understand that. I've got horses that live in herds and I pull one out, work the horse. Another horse in the herd might whinny a little bit. My horse might whinny a little bit. But if they're suffering from separation anxiety in a really bad way, it probably means that they're not feeling safe. They're not feeling comfortable and they don't have control of their environment. Being alone doesn't really matter as long as you feel safe. I don't mind if everyone leaves here and I'm alone out on my farm. It doesn't really matter as long as I feel safe. But then if there's a few strange noises start to happen, or maybe I hear someone getting into one of the sheds or a thief getting around the place, well then I might start getting pretty nervous about being alone. And the horses are much the same. Horses prefer to be in groups because there's safety in numbers, which is, it's not necessarily about being with their friends, but there's safety in numbers. It reduces the chances that they are the one that will get eaten tonight. And when they're all alone, they tend to get more stressed. Now, if you can cause the horse to feel very comfortable with you because he has control of his environment, every pressure you put on the horse, he knows how to remove it. He's not scared. You've done some good work. You've moved flags around him and all sorts of things. There's no fear in the horse. You've not used flight in any of the training, so there's no flight in the horse. So there's no fear, there's no flight. He's not afraid of anything. He remains quite sensitive and he knows how to respond to the aids. And you've got everything under stimulus control, forwards, backwards, hindquarters, forequarters. You've got control of his feet. He's got control of the different pressures you put on him. Every time you put a pressure on the horse, he knows how to remove it. That way, the horse is going to be fine. But if you don't have all those things in place, the horse is going to be out there thinking, okay, not safe, don't understand anything, having a bad time, lots of mouth pressure, lots of leg pressure, couldn't understand anything that was going on, really want to go back to my friends. And a lot of separation anxiety happens because there's confusion. If you can just get rid of confusion, horses can't stand confusion. They need the control of their environment and they need to feel safe. And if there's confusion, they'll want to go back into numbers. They'll want to go back into a group because there's safety in numbers. If they're feeling safe, it'll happen much, much less. And I've had horses, you can go out in the middle of a racetrack, and even if the race is going on around you, it just doesn't matter. They're good, they're feeling pretty safe. They're not worried about it. And you would take horses and you'd expose them to more and more environments and help the horses feel safe. But if they're not feeling safe, they will get gregarious and you will get separation anxiety.